horizontal is always going to be y equals a number. And I'm just giving you the x and y here, so you're just taking the y with it. Or some people will think about it as like, y equals mx plus b. But if it's a horizontal line, what's your slope? Is 0, so it's y equals 0x plus b. So it's really just y equals b. So it's just y equals 6. Vertical lines are always x equals a number. You just use the x value of the point that I gave you. X-axis and y-axis trip people up because it's kind of opposite of what you would expect. The x-axis is actually horizontal. Horizontal lines are y equals a number. So this is y equals 0. And then the y-axis is actually vertical. Vertical lines are x equals. So it's like the opposite variable of the axis. Yeah. I did. Thank you. Why did I write negative? There's not even a -6 on the board anymore. Thank you.
Your mind was probably
Number 5 is literally just y equals mx plus b. So that's y equals slope times x minus 2. And then 6, 7, and 8. Just walking around, you guys do them a little differently than I would. But that's fine. I just want to show you, for some of you guys, I want to show you kind of a formula that I'll use a lot when we start going through this, because this is a huge thing in the AP test. It'll be like, find the equation of the tangent line at whatever, because it makes you find the derivative, and then kind of combine that with some algebra skills and see if you can find the equation of a line. So the way I would do 6 is like this. But I don't think I saw that on anyone's desk. So this is point slope form. So this is the x value of the point. So I don't know if you guys forgot about it or don't like it or didn't learn it or what, but I like it. I think it's pretty helpful for the way that they get set up in here. So that's your x value, your y value, and then m is still your slope. So, like for 6, I'll be able to throw 1/2 there, and then 3, and then 6. Because some of you were doing like that y equals mx plus b, where you fill in and you find b. And this kind of gets around that. I think it's a little more like clear-cut, kind of direct what we're looking for. Finding b is like this weird algebra game, but it doesn't really express me what's happening. Like I can look at this equation and say, okay, we're going through 3 times 6, slope is 1/2. And oftentimes in the AP test, they'll just leave it right like this. So you can kind of stop. And if it's a multiple choice, or if it's a free response, you can stop. They might want you to distribute, and you go, okay, well that's 1/2 x. What's half of -3? Probably around -1.5. Plus 6. So that'd be plus 4.5 or plus 9/2. Yeah, so I don't know what you guys think about that way. I recommend it, I like it. I'm not going to like force you to use. Alright, so if I try that with number 7, one little extra step here. So I didn't give you the slope in 7. But you can find that. And then you can use either point you want. So both of these will give you the same. If you want to convince yourself, you can work it through 2 ways. But I'm just going to choose the one that makes it look easier, which is the 4 and the 0. And then I got to find the slope. So I'm going 0 minus 8 over 4 minus 2. So that's -4. And then again, I like this because I can look at it and I can see what's happening. Here's the slope. Here's the point that we're going through. So if I distribute, that's -4x plus 16. Which you may have got to a different way. That's totally fine. I'm just showing you an option. How's that? Questions on stuff? And then for 8, again, I'm just going to kind of put my, like a ton of problems we do in here, I just start like that. I'm just like, I'm going to fill in those blanks. So I'm putting -1 here, because it's the x value, which will turn into +1. Put 5 there. And then normal means perpendicular. So do you guys know how to find the slope of perpendicular? Like if the slope is 2, you flip it and change the sign. Perpendicular. So perpendicular to a slope of 2 would be -1/2. Go over, change the sign. And then I'm just going to throw it there. And again, I like it because you can see the points, and if you have to distribute, you can do that too. So negative 1/2x. This would be minus 1/2 plus 5, so plus 4.5 or plus 9/2. Questions on that? I would definitely write this down in your notes somewhere, or in your head, whatever. I think it's very useful. I'm going to show you how we're going to start using that. How do you guys see that? Just for that? Algebra 2. Yeah, that was you're a sophomore, but that was like pre-COVID. Right. Like a decade ago. Wasn't that when we like like March. And then we did virtual school for 2 months. Oh, really? You guys, I remember like friends and I had never said a word in the class. And then I get them in virtual school, and you guys were just like insane.
Hey, what time you get?
What?
You gave me high school meeting one time.
I did? I put you in charge?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's go through a couple of these together. Don't start doing it, don't start doing it, don't start doing it. So, there's a bunch on here that are, so basically there's 4 things you should be able to do at this point. Like after I do this work. Find the slope at a point. How do you do that? Stop working on the worksheet, pay attention. You write your name.
Okay, thank you.
How do you, okay, fine. How can we move on? How do you find the slope at a point? Take the derivative and then plug it in. How do you find the derivative at a point? It's the exact same thing, right? Like those are the same question. So I'm saying 4 things, but 2 of them are really the same. Then after today, you should be able to know how to find the tangent line equation at a point and the normal line equation at a point. That's what we're trying to do. So this first one is find the derivative at a point. I'm not going to go through that. We did that last time. What that is just take the derivative, plug in 3. And I do want you to sketch. If I gave you a graph, I want you to sketch. Remember, sketching the tangent line is like the surfboard, where the surfboard would be if I did this here. Or we've talked about like you're orbiting around the Earth and the gravity just stops and you just float off into space. Because it's x equals 3. Because it just looked cool. I don't know. Because it's x equals 3. Okay, so let's go to number 2. So find the equation of the line normal. Normal means perpendicular. So first I'm going to draw it, but you're not drawing the tangent, you're drawing the normal line. So give me negative 1 comma 3, which is right there. So let me draw it with my marker. Because it's, I want to show you the tangent line too. So the tangent line would be something like this. I didn't do it perfectly, but you know, your surfer would be kind of pointing that way. The normal line, the one we're going to draw, is through that point, but at a right angle to it. So it's going to look something like that. See what we're going for? Ish. So it might help to kind of like lightly sketch the tangent. So you know what you're like right angling against. And then the normal is going to look like that. x. Okay, so how do I do it? So what I want is this. So that's kind of my general. That's supposed to be a blank. What's going to go in this slot is the slope. What's going to go in this slot is the x value of the point that we're going through. And this slot is the y value of the point that we're going through. So I can put, plus 1 and plus 3, and that's plus because it's minus -1, and then plus 3. So what I need is the slope, and that's what the calculus is going to allow us to do. So to find the slope at any point, I take the derivative and plug in. So the derivative is 4x. And I want the slope when x equals -1. So the slope is -4, but that's the slope of the tangent line. The derivative tells us the slope of the tangent line. So what is the slope of the normal line? So we're going to put a 1, 4. And I don't know what they did with the answers. Did they leave it that form or not? They did not. So yeah, I would want you to distribute this also. What are you asking? So the derivative is positive 4x, right? And then I plugged in a -1. So I get a -4. Are you gonna? There are. There's like the entire worksheet, and then the entire worksheet again with answers like in each problem. Because there's drawings I wanted to be able to see. So like there's number 2 answer. But I do want you to put it in this form. So I want you to distribute it. Yeah, because like why did I pick -1 to put here? Because that's the x value they gave me up there. Okay. So I'm not quite done. I still have to distribute. Kind of did this in a weird order, but y equals 1/4 x plus 1/4 plus 3, which I know I'm going to need a common denominator. So if I wrote 3 as 12/4, it'll make my next step a little easier. So 1/4 x plus 13/4. Is that alright for number 2? Any other questions? Where'd you get this from? I don't understand what happened here. Yes, question or yes? Yeah.
Is it always going to be x minus the x value?
Yes. Well, unless it's a negative x value, that's plus. But
Okay.
that's the formula.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want you to you don't have to regraph after you do this, but it's probably a good idea to look at it and be like, okay, 1/4 x. I can tell it's like close. I don't expect a perfect graph. I want you to understand the concept of it. If I get down to here and my tangent line or my normal line equation was like -2x, but this is a positive slope, I must have messed up one of them. So it helps you go back and kind of verify. Other questions on 2? 3 is a little different. I think a lot of you guys are working on 3 already, it looks like. Let's go through that one. So I get y equals blank times x minus blank plus blank. Put 3 there and 1 there. That's just that point. If I wanted to sketch it, 3, 1 is right here. The tangent line would be what kind of line? Don't say straight. All lines are straight. It would be horizontal, right? So the normal line, perpendicular to horizontal, is vertical. So we're actually going to look for this. And I know that just knowing that, you can look at it and say, well, vertical lines are x equals a number. The x value is 3. But I want to go through what happens because you won't always have a graph. So if I were to go through this process, I want to find the slope there. So the derivative is 4x minus 12. What do I plug in? 3. Plug in 3. it's 0. So the derivative is 0, which means the slope of the tangent line is 0, which, like we just said, is horizontal, right? And what's perpendicular to horizontal is vertical. But it also works if you think about it like algebraically. If you take a 0 and you change the sign, nothing happens, it's still 0. Flip it over. Now where's the 0? On the bottom. If you have a 0 on the bottom, that means you're rising, but you're running 0. So like if your slope was 10 over 0, let's say, you would start here, you go up 10 and over 0, up 10 and over 0, up, and you just end up with a vertical line, right? Just kind of another way to get to the same information. So then, I do get a little stuck because this equation is no longer valid. This equation doesn't work for vertical lines. That's like the only exception. So when I get 0 and try to flip it over, I get undefined, which kind of invalidates this equation. I'm like, oh yeah, that's vertical. It's like an exception. So then I can go to my x. Questions on that? How'd you know to do this? Where this number goes? What happened? What day is it? What's the lunch there? Let's go to number. Oh wow, skip 4. You don't have to do that yet. We will. So, yeah. Yeah, let's do 5. So this is the equation of the tangent line. So that's my general form. 1 and 5 there. That's the x and y they gave me. And so my job is to find the slope. So the slope, so y prime is negative 3x squared plus 6x. Yes, you guys know I'm getting that slope, that derivative? Questions on that? And then I'm going to plug in 1. So don't do this. This I see this mistake all the time. We want to find the specific slope at this point. And people will get to here, and I know you get on the test, you get stuck, you forget, but I want the slope at that point, not the slope in general. This is the slope in general. If you tell me the x value, I can tell you the slope. So many people, not so many, but too many people will put this in that spot and then start like distributing and like doing algebra and simplifying. And so remember to plug in a number before. Like there's always a number that goes here. So if I plug in the y value or the x value, negative 3 times 1 squared plus 6 times 1. So 3. 3 in that spot. And then distribute. Y equals 3 times x. Minus 3 minus 5. 3x minus 8. I kind of forgot to sketch it, but now's a good chance to go and be like, is it minus? No, it's plus 5, yeah. Sorry. Plus 2. So I just realized how I went to graph it, it wasn't going to work. It's a good way to check. And then if I do that, that's my tangent line. It goes through plus 2 and everything kind of matches up. But it's not always going to match perfectly because you're drawing by hand, but it should be close-ish. Question on that? Let's do one more. Let's do 6. So y equals blank times x minus blank plus blank. So did I put a minus here last time, like at the very beginning? I should. That's what I should do plus. So I would have. I did, didn't I? So this is going to be minus negative 3 plus 3. This will be minus 4. And then just to this is like there's a 1 out in front, and that's the same as 1/2 x squared. So if you take this like fraction and pull it out in front, it's written a little more like we're used to. I didn't take the derivative, I just rewrote it. And then if I take the derivative, 2 times 1/2 is x, or just 1x, and reduce the power by 1, so it's 1x first. X plus 3. So y prime at negative 3. So negative 3 plus 3, which is 0. But I want the normal line. So if the tangent line has a slope of 0, what is the slope of the normal line? Vertical is not a slope. You're right, but what's the slope of the vertical line? Undefined. The slope of vertical line is undefined. So if I flip it over, I'd be dividing by 0. That's undefined. That doesn't make any sense. If I were to say, hey, let's do some group work, or everybody get into divide up into groups of 0, and then we'll get started. I don't know what that would all just vanish, or I don't know what happened. So this would be the slope of the tangent line. I want the normal line. When I flip that over, it becomes undefined, and then this kind of gets invalidated. I know now that I have a vertical line. And I go x equals negative 3. I did the math first instead of drawing, just to show you, like, when you draw it, it's almost like cheating on these. And then that would be a sketch. Should I do one more? Let's do one more.
Don't do 7.
Why?
It's the same.
It's a tangent line. Okay. Let's do it on a lot of crap. Let's go to like the same question.
Actually, no, it's not the same as mine. It's like
It's just a
There's just a squared or not. It's really similar though. Yeah. Let's go to 14. We don't have a graph. How about, do you want to try it? Then I'll go through it? Let's do that. We're doing 14. Let's start with my point slope form. This was, yeah, I forgot. I'm glad we're going through this stuff. So, I'm going to put plus 2 here because it's minus negative 2. I had to give you the y value. So there's one extra step here. So how do I find the y value? Plug into the original or plug into the derivative to find the y value? Plug into the original. So I'm going to plug negative 2 into this. Negative times negative 2 squared minus 8 times negative 2 minus 17. So negative 2 squared is 4. So it's negative 4. Negative 4 plus 16 is 12. 12 minus 17 is negative 5. So there's just like one extra level of work here to find the y value. Then I gotta find the slope. So I'm gonna use the derivative to do that. And this is a tangent line, so am I gonna take the slope that I find, or am I gonna do the negative reciprocal of it? I want the slope by 5 if I want the tangent line. So y prime is negative 2x minus 8. So negative 2 times negative 2 minus 8. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. That's the slope of the tangent line. That's what they're asking for. So I'm going to use that. I'll get straight in here. If it were a normal line, what would I put there? Positive 1/4. But then just make sure you distribute so you're matching up with what the answers are. So I'll end up with y equals negative 4x. This would tell me minus 8, this part here. And I've got plus negative 5. What's
It's minus x one, so it's positive.
are you correcting me or the person who's I'm good, right? Yeah. We all understand why? It's minus, it is minus, but it's because x is negative. It's like x minus negative 2.
Because the equation is y equals m times x minus x.
You good though? Okay. Zeller, what's up? Sure? Sure, you sure?
I got that.
What do you have then? Questions I can answer, help with, go through again? Alright, so tomorrow I'll give you, we're going to do horizontal tangents, so it's like just another thing to add, and then I'll give you a teacher made. Kind of summarize all of that stuff. I did assign con. 10? Something like that.
That's what I like to hear.
I put next Friday, I don't know exactly, but
You're gonna say more?
I don't know. Start there for now. Or what's it? Just tell me what it's called. I guess you already did that, didn't you? But it's really like not motivating to play because I know I'm up against people using massage guns.
Sorry, that's just that good.
I don't have it. I don't have an Android, man. Is it not? I don't know if this stands to the Android world yet.
Hey Zach, are you ready for bagels and cream cheese on Wednesday? Yeah, bottled water. Oh, sorry, yeah, bottled water. Okay, so this one you have to add the two things again. Yeah, we got a lot. So I'm so excited to watch the presentations on the CC.
So they combine all the scores. Oh.
Okay, 476. He said, I got a poster in my finger.
You got it there?
Yeah. I did too.
Why are we standing? The time right now is meant to be used to do calculus, my friends. Do work. Go do work.
Oh,
What do you think I leave time for?
do my calculus. What if I did it wrong? And then they learn from this?
Dave, you just want to write it